Welcome back to my channel to a new video. So, let's start today's session of Indian Accounting Standards or IND-AS. Unit 9 of CA Foundation, Paper-1, Principles and Practice of Accounting, Chapter-1, Theoritical Framework. So, what is Indian Accounting Standards? In our previous video, in the Unit 8 video that is live in my channel and that was uploaded yesterday, we discussed about accounting standards. What are accounting standards? Please write in the comment section so that I can understand you are following my channel. So, Indian accounting standards are the accounting standards that are followed or prevalent inside India or within the Indian subcontinent for accounting by the accountant for the business enterprises. Indian accounting standards are also in short known as IND-AS. Indian accounting standards are known as IND-AS. So, first of all, Indian accounting standards. What forms up or what is the main purpose of Indian accounting standards? We know there are accounting standards. Accounting standards are prevalent all over the world for accounting for business organizations. But what is the use or what is the purpose of Indian accounting standards? We are going to learn today. Indian accounting standards were built or are formed for convergence towards global standards. The accounting standards that are globally accepted to converge into that, the accounting standards of India for convergence with global standards, Indian accounting standards are formed or were kept in action, were brought to action. Then, transparency of financial statements. For the transparency of the financial statements that is built or that is formed for the Indian business organizations, Indian accounting standards were meant mandatory or are to be followed. Third is comparability of financial statements. The financial statements which are according to Indian accounting standards can be comparable among each other. And the fourth is enhanced disclosure requirement. When an accountant follows Indian accounting standards to show up or to form the financial statements of an Indian business organization, the disclosure requirements are enhanced. So इंडियन अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स को फॉलो करने का या फिर मेंटेन करने का 4 रीजंस या फिर 4 पर्पस है, 4 पर्पस है. नंबर 1, कन्वर्जेंस टुवर्ड्स ग्लोबल स्टैंडर्ड्स. ग्लोबल अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स से कन्वर्ज करने के लिए इंडियन अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स को. सेकंड, ट्रांसपेरेंसी ऑफ फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स. फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स को ट्रांसपेरेंट करने के लिए. थर्ड, कंपैरेबिलिटी ऑफ फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स. फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स को कंपैरेबल बनाने के लिए इंडियन अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स को फॉलो किया जाता है. एंड नंबर 4th इज एनहांस्ड डिस्क्लोजर रिक्वायरमेंट्स. डिस्क्लोजर रिक्वायरमेंट्स को एनहांस या फिर बढ़ाने के लिए इंडियन अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स को फॉलो किया जाता है. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट आवर पोर्शन. नीड फॉर कन्वर्जेंस टुवर्ड्स ग्लोबल स्टैंडर्ड्स. So first of all, I want to clarify, or as a friend, I want to suggest you, please read this chapter on a theoretical basis, because ये chapter marks score करने के तरीके से बहुत ज़्यादा important नहीं है, लेकिन आप लोगों को CA student के हिसाब से जानना ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि एग्जाम में बहुत बार आ चुका है, बहुत बार दे देता है छोटा मोटा question. Need for convergence towards global standards. The last decade has witnessed a sea change in the global economic scenario. जो global economic scenario है, globally जो economics का जो scenario था, उसमें बहुत ज़्यादा change आ चुका है. हम लोग सबको पता है, पूरा businesses online हो चुके हैं. ऑनलाइन वे में हम लोग पेमेंट कर रहे हैं। पहले के दिन में बैंक से या फिर कैश ट्रांजैक्शन होता था, अब बैंक से पेमेंट हो रहा है लेकिन क्यूआर कोड स्कैन करके हम लोग 10 रुपीज 20 रुपीज का पेमेंट भी बैंक से कर रहे हैं। The emergence of transactional corporations in search of money not only for fueling growth but to sustain ongoing activities has necessitated raising of capital from all parts of the world, cutting across frontiers. The emergence of transactional corporations in search of money नॉट ओनली फॉर फ्यूलिंग ग्रोथ, हम लोगों को एक बिजनेस को मनी के लिए सर्च करना पड़ रहा है, कैपिटल के लिए पूरा वर्ल्ड से कैपिटल को सर्च करना पड़ रहा है। क्यों? ग्रोथ के लिए तो सही, लेकिन सस्टेन करने के लिए भी। एक इंडिया, अगर आप लोग देखेंगे इंडिया में बिजनेसेस का बहुत ज्यादा कंपटीशन है, इसीलिए बिजनेसेस को ग्रो भी करना है और ग्रो करने के लिए ग्लोबल भी होना चाहिए। एक बिजनेस को ग्लोबल भी होना चाहिए ताकि वो ज्यादा तरीके से प्रॉफिट कमा पाए और ग्रोथ भी हो सके। फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ ग्रोथ एंड ऑल्सो टू गो ऑन अ ग्लोबल लेवल, टू ग्रो ऑन अ ग्लोबल लेवल, a business organization is in search of money or in search of capital from the entire world. हम सबको पता है, we all know that the big businesses or big companies have investors that are known as FII, foreign investors. The foreign investors who invest into Indian businesses, those are foreign investors. Each country has its own set of rules and regulations for accounting and financial reporting. एक कंट्री के लिए, एक कंट्री में ऐसा रूल्स बनाया जाता है जिसके आधारित और जिसको फॉलो करके अकाउंटिंग किया जाता है। हम लोगों के लिए भी, दैट इज इंडियंस के लिए भी वैसा रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस जरूर है, उसे ही हम लोग इंडियन अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स कहते हैं। Therefore, when an enterprise decides to raise capital from the markets other than the country in which it is located, the rules and regulations of the other country will apply, and this in turn will require that the enterprise is in a position to understand the differences between the rules governing financial reporting in the foreign country as compared to its own country of origin. So, let me explain with an example. If we take an example of an Indian company, for example, we take the example of Reliance Industries. So, Reliance Industries requires some money that can be provided by the foreign investors. Reliance Industries follow the rules and regulations that are followed or that are levied inside India. But when Reliance Industries is asking money from foreign officials or foreign investors, foreign accounting rules are also levied on Reliance Industries. Though Reliance Industries is an Indian organization or in an Indian company, in spite of that, as it is requiring or as it is calling money from foreign investors, foreign rules are also applicable. एक एग्जाम्पल से समझते हैं, जो लोग भी इंग्लिश को समझ नहीं पाए। एग्जाम्पल के लिए रिलायंस इंडस्ट्रीज को ले लीजिए। रिलायंस इंडस्ट्रीज एक इंडियन कंपनी है। रिलायंस इंडस्ट्रीज के अकाउंटिंग के लिए या फिर और कुछ सब ऑपरेशंस के लिए इंडियन रूल्स या फिर इंडियन रेगुलेशंस को अप्लाई किया जाता है। रिलायंस इंडस्ट्रीज जो है इंडियन रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस के अकॉर्डिंग चलता है। लेकिन रिलायंस इंडस्ट्रीज को फॉरेन से पैसा उठाना है, फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर्स से पैसा उठाना है। जब भी फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर्स से पैसा उठाया जाए, तब फॉरेन रूल्स भी, फॉरेन जो कंट्री का पैसा आ रहा है रिलायंस इंडस्ट्रीज के पास, उसके रूल्स भी रिलायंस इंडस्ट्रीज के ऊपर लागू हो जाएगा। इट विल बी एप्लीकेबल ऑन रिलायंस इंडस्ट्रीज। सो उस रिलायंस इंडस्ट्रीज को जो एक बिजनेस है, उसको समझना चाहिए मेरे कंट्री में मुझे जो रूल्स फॉलो करना हो रहा है, मेरे कंट्री के अकॉर्डिंग और फॉरेन कंट्री के अकॉर्डिंग उसका डिफरेंसेस क्या है, उसको समझना जरूरी है। Therefore, translation and reinstallments. Sorry. Therefore, translation and reinstatements are of utmost importance in a world that is rapidly globalizing in all ways. एक रूल को ट्रांसलेट करना या फिर रीइंस्टेटमेंट करना, एक रूल को अच्छे तरीके से समझना अपने लैंग्वेज में, ट्रांसलेट या फिर रीइंस्टेटमेंट किसे कहते हैं? एक रूल जो है उसे अपने तरीके से समझना, अपने लैंग्वेज में समझना इस बहुत जरूरी हो जाता है। इट इज ऑफ utmost importance in this rapidly globalizing world. In themselves also, the accounting standards and principle need to be robust so that the larger society develops degree of confidence in the financial statements which are put forward by organizations. Rules and regulations को या फिर अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स या फिर अकाउंटिंग प्रिंसिपल्स को बहुत अच्छे तरीके से समझना और उसे पोर्ट्रे करना एक बिजनेस के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है। कब? जब उसे फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स को पब्लिक में दिखाना है या फिर यूजर्स को दिखाना है, ताकि यूजर्स को फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स के ऊपर भरोसा बना पाए या फिर भरोसा दे पाए फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स के ऊपर। To achieve the belief and also to achieve a degree of confidence of the users of accounting or the users of financial statements, a business organization should translate and also formulate their accounting standards and accounting principles following the rules and regulations that is applicable within the country, and also rules and regulations that is applicable on the outside or foreign investors. International analysts and investors would like to compare financial statements based on similar accounting standards, and this has led to the growing support for an internationally accepted set of accounting standards for cross-border filings. एग्जाम्पल के लिए ले लेते हैं रिलायंस इंडस्ट्रीज को यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका से पैसा या फिर कैपिटल उठाना है। रिलायंस इंडस्ट्रीज इज इन अ नीड ऑफ कैपिटल फ्रॉम यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका। इन दैट केस द इन्वेस्टर्स फ्रॉम यूएसए आर नॉट डम दैट दे विल गिव मनी टू रिलायंस इंडस्ट्रीज विदाउट सीइंग इट्स फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स और विदाउट एनालाइजिंग देयर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स। That is why, to help such investors analyze their investments or to prove their investments correct, Reliance Industries should portray their financial statements that is understandable by them. An international or a foreign investor will not learn an Indian law or Indian accounting standard to understand their investments. They will prefer not to invest. But Reliance Industries is in a need or is hungry of capital from USA. In that case, Reliance Industries should make their financial statements in such a way that is understandable by the investors from USA, and also that is understandable by the investors from India and also the other users located or situated inside India. That is why a robust platform or a common platform should be given. A common accounting standard should be formed so that the foreign investors as well as the in-country investors or the users can understand the financial statements. There should be a internationally accepted accounting standard that is acceptable internationally as well as nationally. The harmonization of financial reporting around the world will help to raise confidence of investors generally in the information they are using to make their decisions and assess their risks. अगर फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स को हार्मोनाइज या फिर इक्वलाइज किया जाए, कॉमन किया जाए, तब इन्वेस्टर्स का फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर भी हो, फॉरेन यूजर भी हो सकता है, नेशनल इन्वेस्टर भी हो सकता है, या फिर नेशनल यूजर भी हो सकता है, उन यूजर्स के लिए एक कॉन्फिडेंस जनरेट हो सकेगा उस फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स के ऊपर. Also, a strong need was felt by legislation to bring about uniformity, rationalization, comparability, transparency, and adaptability in financial statements. जो legislation है या फिर जो भी गवर्नमेंट है या फिर गवर्निंग अथॉरिटी है, उनको भी ये नीड दिखाई दिया कि फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स को यूनिफॉर्म करना, यूनिफॉर्मिटी लाना फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स के ऊपर, रैशनलाइज करना, कंपैरेबल करना, ट्रांसपेरेंट करना, एंड अडेप्टिव, इट शुड बी अडेप्टेबल, अडेप्टेबिलिटी को इन्फोर्स करना फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स में बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो गया है. Having a multiplicity of accounting standards around the world is against the public interest. अगर इंटरनेशनली एक अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड रहेगा और इंडिया के लिए और एक सेट ऑफ अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड रहेगा, पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट के खिलाफ हो जाएगा. पब्लिक जब इन्वेस्ट करेगा या फिर फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स को यूज करेगा, तब उसे दोनों अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड को पैरेलली दिखना होगा, जो उनके लिए डिफिकल्ट हो जाएगा. इट वुड बी डिफिकल्ट टू स्टडी इंटरनेशनल अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड as well as the Indian accounting standard for the user, and that is why the international accounting standard and the Indian accounting standard should be made equal to each other or equivalent, so that the investors should study or the users should study one accounting standard and can understand the financial statements on a whole or on an entire basis. If accounting for the same events and information produces different reported numbers depending on the systems of standards they are being used, then it is self-evident that accounting will facilitate fraud. अगर एक अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड से, फॉर एग्जांपल हम लोग मान लेते हैं रिलायंस इंडस्ट्रीज अकाउंट एक इंटरनेशनल अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड यूज करके प्रॉफिट दिखा रहा है 10 करोड़ और इंडियन अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड को यूज करके प्रॉफिट दिखा रहा है 5 करोड़. यूजर्स के लिए भी प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा, किसे प्रॉफिट माने, 5 करोड़ को या फिर 10 करोड़ को, और इसकी वजह से थोड़ा फ्रॉड होने का भी चांस हो जाएगा. दोनों अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड के साथ खिलवाड़ करके, दोनों अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड को ट्विच करके जो कंपनीज है या फिर बिजनेस ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस है, वो फ्रॉड कर सकता है अपने प्रॉफिट को घटाने के लिए या फिर बढ़ाने के लिए. बढ़ाएगा कब, जब इन्वेस्टर से पैसा उठाना हो, घटाएगा कब, जब कम टैक्स देना हो, टैक्स लायबिलिटी को घटाना हो. इसीलिए फ्रॉड का रेट बढ़ जाएगा. इट क्रिएट्स कंफ्यूजन, encourages error and facilitates fraud. The cure for these ills is to have a single set of global standards of the highest quality set in the interest of public. इसके लिए इन सब प्रॉब्लम्स का इलाज करने के लिए, to facilitate or to kill the illness of such problems, there should be a globally accepted accounting standard that should be of the highest quality, of the best quality, and that should be according to the public interest. So, what are the disadvantages of differences between Indian accounting standards and international accounting standards? So, a difference in the accounting standards should create a confusion, it would encourage error, and also it would facilitate fraud. And to cure these ills, a global standard of the highest quality set in the interest of public should be introduced. Global standards facilitate cross-border flow of money, global listing in different bourses and compatibility of financial standards. अगर ग्लोबल ये सब है ग्लोबल स्टैंडर्ड्स का फायदा या फिर the advantages of global standards. What are the advantages of global standards? It would facilitate cross-border flow of money. It would facilitate global listing in different bourses. In Reliance Industries, इंडियन स्टॉक मार्केट में भी लिस्ट हो सकता है और यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका का भी स्टॉक एक्सचेंज में लिस्ट हो सकता है इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए. इसे फैसिलिटेट करेगा ग्लोबल स्टैंडर्ड. ग्लोबल स्टैंडर्ड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स का कंपैटिबिलिटी भी एनहांस करेगा या फिर फैसिलिटेट करेगा. The convergence of financial reporting and accounting standards is a valuable process that contributes to the free flow of global investment and achieves substantial benefits for all capital markets stakeholders. फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग का कन्वर्जेंस या फिर अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स का कन्वर्जेंस होने से, कन्वर्जेंस किसके, इंडियन अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड और इंटरनेशनल अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड का कन्वर्ज होने से क्या क्या फायदा है? व्हाट आर द बेनिफिट्स फॉर द कन्वर्जेंस of the financial reporting and accounting standards? It would provide a free flow of investments. It would encourage a free flow of investments and achieve substantial benefits from all capital market stakeholders. सब कैपिटल मार्केट्स का स्टेकहोल्डर्स, सब इन्वेस्टर्स से, ग्लोबल इन्वेस्टर्स से पैसा उठाना हो, उसको अचीव करने के लिए एक कन्वर्ज्ड फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग एंड अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड का जरूरी हो जाता है या फिर जरूरत आता है. इट इंप्रूव्स द एबिलिटी ऑफ इन्वेस्टर्स टू कंपेयर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स ऑन अ ग्लोबल बेसिस एंड thus lowers their risk of errors of judgment. हम सबको पता है बहुत इंडियंस हैं जो कि फॉरेन मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करता है और बहुत फॉरेन नेशनल्स भी इंडियन मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करता है, ताकि वो सब अपने इन्वेस्टमेंट्स को क्वांटिफाई कर सके या फिर कंपेयर कर सके. एक इंडियन इन्वेस्टर कब यूएस मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करेगा? जब उसे फायदा दिखेगा. कब फायदा दिखेगा? जब वो यूएस का इन्वेस्टमेंट को और एक इंडियन इन्वेस्टमेंट को कंपेयर कर सके, तब भी उसे फायदा दिखेगा. इस कंपैटिबिलिटी को लाने के लिए, ग्लोबल बेसिस पे कंपैटिबिलिटी को लाने के लिए हम लोगों को फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग एंड अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स को कन्वर्ज करना पड़ता है या फिर इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू कन्वर्ज द फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग एंड द अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स to increase or to enhance the compatibility of financial statements on a global basis, so that a foreign investor is able to compare their foreign investment and their within country investment to assess their profits or assess their gains. It has the potential to create a new standard of accountability and greater transparency, which are values of great significance to all market participants, including regulators. It reduces operational challenges for accounting firms and focuses their value and expertise around an increasingly unified set of standards. So, what are the benefits of a converged financial reporting and accounting standard? It is valuable or it is important for the increasing the accountability. It enforces greater transparency, which are values of great significance to all market participants, including regulators. The regulators of the market are also benefited from such converged financial reporting and accounting standards. It reduces the operational challenges. The operational challenges of accounting firms are also reduced. Why? Because they can focus on their value of expertise on an increasingly unified set of standards. On one standard that is applicable on the entire world, they can expertise, they can make their expertise, or they can make their employees or their stakeholders an expert in that accounting standard that is globally acceptable and globally applicable. It creates an unprecedented opportunity for standard setters and other stakeholders to improve the reporting model. To improve the reporting model, it creates an opportunity. It creates an unprecedented opportunity for the companies with joint listings in both domestic and foreign country. The convergence is very significant. For joint listing in domestic and foreign country. For example, I am going to open up a company. That company is set to be listed in the Indian stock market, in the American stock market, and also in the Austrian stock market. So it is a joint listing in a domestic and foreign country, and that in that case the convergence of financial reporting and accounting standards becomes very important. It becomes significant. International financial reporting standards as global standards. With a view of achieving convergence towards global standards, the London based group, namely the International Accounting Standards Committee, these short forms are very important. International Accounting Standards Committee IASC, responsible for developing international accounting standards. What is IASC? IASC is the International Accounting Standards Committee. And what is it responsible for? International Accounting Standards Committee is responsible for developing the international accounting standards. Was established in June 1973. It is presently known as the International Accounting Standards Board, IASB. So, in our previous part, the Unit 8 video, we learned that our ICAI, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, has its body or has its branch or has its leg in the name of Accounting Standards Board. The Accounting Standards Board under ICAI formulates the Indian accounting standards or the accounting standards that are applicable within India. On an international basis, the International Accounting Standards Committee has its name changed to International Accounting Standards Board. The International Accounting Standards Board sets the international accounting standards that are followed on a global basis or an international basis. So, as a note, as a very important note, we can write over here IASB, International Accounting Standards Board, forms the International Accounting Standards. Sorry again. Oof. It forms the International Accounting Standards. The International Accounting Standard Board, which was previously called as the International Accounting Standards Committee, is responsible for forming the International Accounting Standards Board. The International Accounting Standards Committee comprises the professional accountancy bodies of over 75 countries, including the International Accounting Standards Committee or the International Accounting Standards Board has is formed of over accountancy bodies of 75 countries. which includes our institute, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Primarily, the IASC was established in the public interest to formulate and publish international accounting standards to be followed in the presentation of audited financial statements. International accounting standards were issued to promote acceptance and observance of international accounting standards worldwide. The members of the International Accounting Standards Committee have undertaken a responsibility to support the standards promulgated by IASC and to propagate those standards in their respective countries. The members The members of IASC has taken up a responsibility to support the standards promulgated in IASC, that is the International Accounting Standards Committee, and to propagate those standards in their respective countries. For example, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, being a member of the International Accounting Standards Committee, is responsible to propagate the international accounting standards within India. Between 1973 and 2001, the International Accounting Standards Committee released International Accounting Standards. So, the International Accounting Standards were launched or released by the International Accounting Standards Committee in between 1973 and 2001. Between 1997 and 1999, the IASC restructured their organization, which resulted in the formation of International Accounting Standards Board. So, in between 1997 and 1999, the International Accounting Standards Committee was restructured to form the International Accounting Standards Board. These changes came into effect on 1st April 2001. Subsequently, IASB issued statements about current and future standards. IASB publishes its standards in a series of pronouncements called International Financial Reporting Standards (IFRS). International Financial Reporting Standards. The International Accounting Standard Board publishes its standards in a series of pronouncements known as the International Financial Reporting Standards (IFRS). However, IASB has not rejected the standards issued by the ISAC. It would be IASC. Those pronouncements continue to be designated as International Accounting Standards (IAS). The term IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards (IFRS), comprises IFRS issued by the International Accounting Standards Board, International Accounting Standards issued by the International Accounting Standards Committee (IASC), interpretations issued by the Standard Interpretation Committee (SIC), and the International Financial Reporting Standards Interpretations Committee of the IASB. International Financial Reporting Standards are considered a principle-based standard. So, the International Financial Reporting Standards are considered a principle-based set of standards. In fact, they establish broad rules rather than dictating specific treatments. Rather than giving a specific treatment for a transaction, the International Financial Reporting Standards that is formed or formulated by the International Accounting Standards Board sets or establishes a broad set of rules that can be followed in valuing or to evaluate a transaction or an event. Every major nation is moving towards adopting them to some extent. Large number of authorities requires public companies to use IFRS for stock exchange listing purposes. And in addition, banks, insurance companies, and stock exchanges may use them for standards for their statutorily required reports. So, over the next few years, thousands of companies will adopt the international standards. The requirement will affect about 7,000 enterprises, including their subsidiaries, equity investors, and joint venture partners. The increased use of IFRS is not limited to public company listing requirements or statutory reporting. Many lenders and regulatory and government bodies are looking to international financial reporting standards to fulfill local financial reporting obligations related to financing or licensing. Our next portion, benefits of convergence with IFRS. What is IFRS? IFRS is the International Financial Reporting Standards. So, what are the benefits of converging into IFRS? There are many beneficiaries of convergence with IFRS, such as the economy, the investors, the industry, etc. The beneficiaries for the convergence with IFRS are the economy, is the economy in whole, the investors, and also the industry and other parties or other beneficiaries are also there. Now, how the economy would be benefited? The economy. When the markets expand globally, the need for convergence increases since the convergence benefits the economy by increasing growth of the international business. So, what is the benefit? Increasing growth of its international business. An economy, after the convergence of accounting standards with the international financial reporting standards, an economy is benefited due to an increased growth in the international business. It facilitates maintenance of orderly and efficient capital markets. Facilitates maintenance of efficient capital markets. Maintenance of orderly and efficient capital markets. And also helps to increase capital formation and thereby economic growth. Why capital formation? कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन का क्यों हेल्प करता है? क्योंकि फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर्स से भी कैपिटल उठाने का एक राइट या फिर एक मौका मिल जाता है. It encourages international investing and thereby leads to more foreign capital flows into the market. Now, how the investors are benefited from the convergence with IFRS? Now, investors. A strong case for convergence can be made from the viewpoint of the investors who wish to invest outside their country, who wish to invest outside their own country. The investors, those are interested to invest outside their country for more returns or any other case, their convergence of accounting standards with the international financial reporting standards help them. Investors want the information that is more relevant, reliable, timely, and comparable across the jurisdictions. Investors want the information that is more relevant, the information that is more reliable, timely, and also comparable across the jurisdiction. Financial statements prepared using a common set of accounting standards help investors better understand investments, opportunities, and opposed to financial statements prepared using a different set of national accounting standards. Investors' confidence is strong when accounting standards used are globally accepted. जब अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स जो एक इन्वेस्टर के देश में फॉलो हो रहा है उसका ग्लोबल एक्सेप्टेंस हो जाए, उस इन्वेस्टर का कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ जाता है. Convergence with the international financial reporting standards contributes to investors' understanding and confidence in high quality financial statements. Now, how the industry would be benefited. The benefits of the industry for the convergence with IFRS. A major force in the movement towards convergence has been the interest of the industry. The industry is able to raise capital from foreign markets at lower cost if it can be create confidence in the minds of foreign investors that their financial statements comply with globally accepted accounting standards. जब फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर्स का ये कॉन्फिडेंस बना पाए एक इंडस्ट्री की जो फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स है वो जनरली या फिर ग्लोबली एक्सेप्टेड अकाउंटिंग प्रिंसिपल से अकॉर्डिंग है, फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर्स का कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ जाता है और वही फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर एक कंट्री का इंडस्ट्री में इन्वेस्ट करता है, कैपिटल का इनफ्लो होता है एंड फाइनली इंडस्ट्री का ग्रोथ होता है. So, a major force in the movement towards convergence has been the interest of the industry. The industry is able to raise capital. Final goal क्या है? Capital raise करना from the foreign markets at lower cost. ये भी हो सकता है कि एक कंट्री का जो कंपनी है वो उस कंट्री से जो भी पैसा उठाए या फिर कैपिटल उठाए वो महंगा मिले, उस किसके कंपैरिजन से महंगा मिले, फॉरेन से पैसा आने का जो खर्चा है वो कम हो, ऐसा भी हो सकता है ना. इसी उस टाइम पे ये सब कन्वर्जेंस टू इंटरनेशनल फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है ताकि वो फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर्स का कॉन्फिडेंस बना पाए. With the diversity in accounting standards from country to country, enterprises which operate in different countries face a multitude of accounting requirements prevailing in the country or the countries. The burden of financial reporting is lessened with convergence of accounting standards because it simplifies the process of preparing the individual and group financial statements and thereby reduces the cost of preparing financial statements using different sets of accounting standards. अगर कंट्री के लिए एंड फॉरेन के लिए दो अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड का यूज होने लगे तो दोनों अकाउंटेंट को हायर करना पड़ेगा. एक अकाउंटेंट जो कंट्री का अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड समझे और एक अकाउंटेंट जो फॉरेन का अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड समझे, या फिर एक ही अकाउंटेंट को एक हाईली एजुकेटेड अकाउंटेंट को हायर करना पड़ेगा जो दोनों अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड इंटरनेशनल एंड इंडियन या फिर उस कंट्री का अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड को समझे. खर्चा बढ़ जाएगा ना, एक फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट को बनाने के लिए जो खर्चा है वो बढ़ जाएगा, तब वो एक डिसएडवांटेज हो जाएगा. उसी डिसएडवांटेज को हटाने के लिए एक कन्वर्ज अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड बनाया जाता है जो कि एज पर इंटरनेशनल फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स हो. डेवलपमेंट ऑफ इंडियन अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स और IND-AS. First step towards IFRS. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, being the accounting standards setting body in India, way back in 2006, initiated the process of moving towards international financial reporting standards. हम लोग के लिए इंडिया के लिए जो इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स ऑफ इंडिया है वो ही प्राइम अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड सेटिंग बॉडी है. इसीलिए अपने फर्ज को निभाते हुए द इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स ऑफ इंडिया 2006 से ही अपना काम करना शुरू कर दिया है. अपने इंडियन अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स को IFRS से कन्वर्ज कराने के लिए। सो IFRS और द इंटरनेशनल फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स कौन इशू करता है? इशू करता है इंटरनेशनल अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स बोर्ड, with a view to enhance acceptability and enhance the transparency of the financial information communicated by the Indian corporates through their financial statements. This move towards IFRS was subsequently accepted by the government of India. ICAI कुछ काम करे और गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्सेप्ट ना करे, ये हो नहीं सकता, क्योंकि ICAI जो भी करता है फुल नॉलेज से एंड फुल एक्सपर्टीज से करता है। इसीलिए ये जो स्टेप था IFRS से कन्वर्ज करना, वो भी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने एक्सेप्ट कर दिया है। The government of India is in consultation with the ICAI decided to converge and not to adopt IFRS issued by the IASB. इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ने डिसाइड किया था IFRS को हम लोग पूरा एप्लीकेबल नहीं करेंगे, लेकिन हम लोग एक अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड बनाएंगे जो IFRS से कन्वर्ज करता हो, उससे सिमिलर हो। The decision of convergence rather than adoption was taken after the detailed analysis of IFRS requirements and extensive discussion with various stakeholders. After discussing the IFRS, the International Financial Reporting Standards, and its requirements with different stakeholders, the Indian government, along with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, decided to converge to the IFRS and not to adopt the IFRS entirely or on a whole. Accordingly, while formulating IFRS converged Indian accounting standards, efforts have been made to keep these standards as far as possible in line with the corresponding IFRS, and departures have been made where considered absolutely essential. जहां पे भी ये मान लिया गया है या फिर वो एसेंशियल हो गया था IFRS से थोड़ा दूर हटना, वहां पे इंडियन अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड को थोड़ा दूर हटाया गया है, और जहां पे भी पॉसिबल हो सका वहां पे इंडियन अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड को IFRS से मिला दिया गया है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल के लिए मैं एक ड्राइंग के हेल्प से समझाता हूँ, समझाने का कोशिश करता हूँ। ये है IFRS। सपोज ये एक लेन है जिसका नाम है IFRS। एक गाड़ी आ रहा है, ये जो कार है इंड AS। जहां पे भी हो सके वो IFRS से कन्वर्ज करेगा, उसके साथ चलेगा, लेकिन जब तक वो पॉसिबल हो। अगर कुछ हिंड्रेंसेस या फिर डिफरेंसेस आ जाए, वो थोड़ा साइड हटके यहां से चलेगा और फिर कन्वर्ज होके साइड हटके यहां पे आएगा, और फिर जब वो हिंड्रेंस हट जाए वो कन्वर्ज होके ऐसा चलेगा। ये है इस स्टेटमेंट का मेन मतलब। आई होप आप समझ पाए होंगे। These changes have been made considering various factors such as various terminology related changes. Various terminology related changes have been made to make it consistent with the terminology used in law. हमारे इंडियन लॉ में जो टर्मिनोलॉजी यूज हुआ है उससे कन्वर्ज या फिर उससे रिलेट करने के लिए कुछ चेंजेस लाया गया है। किस पे? इंडियन अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स पे चेंज लाया गया है। कब? IFRS से कन्वर्ज करने के समय। इन IFRS से कन्वर्ज करने के समय में जो भी चेंजेस लाया गया है वो इसी इंडियन लॉ के अकॉर्डिंग ही लाया गया है। इंडियन लॉ के साथ पैरेलल रहने के लिए ये चेंजेस लाया गया है। Certain changes have been made considering the economic environment of the country, which is different as compared to the economic environment presumed to be in existence by IFRS. What are Indian accounting standards? So, our main portion. What are Indian accounting standards? Indian accounting standards or IND-AS are the international financial reporting standards, converged standards. Indian international financial reporting standards, converged standards issued by the central government of India. Who issues it? The central government of India under the supervision and control of the Accounting Standards Board of the ICAI and in consultation with the National Advisory Committee of Accounting Standards NACAS, National Advisory Committee of Accounting Standards. The National Accounting Committee on Accounting Standards recommend these standards to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Recommends this to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. MCA has to spell out the accounting standards applicable for companies in India. The IND-AS or the Indian Accounting Standards are named and numbered in the same way as the corresponding international financial reporting standards are numbered. Government of India commitment to IFRS converged IND-AS. So IFRS converged IND-AS. This is the term, main term. IFRS converged IND-AS. Initially, IND-AS were expected to be implemented from the year 2011. However, keeping in view the fact that certain issues, including tax issues, were still to be addressed, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs decided to postpone the date of implementation of IND-AS. In July 2014, the Finance Minister of India, Sri Arun Jaitley ji, in his budget speech announced an urgency to converge to the existing accounting standards with the international financial reporting standards through adoption of the new Indian accounting standards by the Indian companies. Pursuant to the above pursuant to the above announcement, various steps have been taken to facilitate the implementation of IFRS converged IND-AS or Indian Accounting Standards. Moving in this direction, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs has issued the company's Indian Accounting Standards Rules 2015 via the notification February 16, 2015, covering the revised roadmap of implementation of IND-AS for companies other than the banking companies, insurance companies, and NBFCs and Indian accounting standards. As per the notification, Indian accounting standards converged with the international financial reporting standards shall be implemented on a voluntary basis from 1st April 2015 and mandatory from 1st April 2016. Later on, in 2016, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs notified roadmap for NBFC announcing implementation date for IND-AS. Similarly, Banking and Insurance Regulatory Authority have issued separate roadmaps for implementation of IND-AS for banking and insurance companies respectively. So that is the end of this chapter. Now here is a list of int AS that would be covered in my next video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying together. Now we have come to the end of chapter 1. The chapter 1 of us is completed, and we from our next video would be starting with chapter 2 of paper 1 CA Foundation. So thank you for watching. Thank you for staying together. Stay safe, stay healthy. If you liked my video, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. I would hope you liked my video, and thank you. Thank you for staying together. Bye bye.